Once again, and now the engage is there. Taunt on 2-3, but Antunes is going to be able to walk away. The Mouse of Heart all isn't going to lock down Leaves for long enough. Fails to flash himself. The Moonfall is still online. Doyon has to be looking for something right now to find onto Leaves, but the disengage has to come through. The Stand United is there. Now they're causing pressure onto Zenzen. Leaves. I thought he was going to make it out on a sliver of HP, but this fight is falling apart for TDE. And Fat Pikachu, they get the rip on. Does have that flash available. He's trying to get his way out of there. Flash forward from Doyon. The ulti will go wide. They're trying to CC out that Diana, but I don't know. Does Ultrafox get away from this? Re-diving forward. Last second can't pick up the kill. Being barely flashing to the side and gets away with it. Now Zenzen in there alone, but trying to. There's room for Ultrafox. Where is the rest of TDE? As Blackpink is now stuck under turret. TDE late to the reaction, but Fat Pikachu's able to turn it around. Leaves in the middle of 4. And now there's no inhibitors guarding the walls of this base right now for Fat Pikachu, as Antunes still looking aggressive. There's no flash available on that Jinx. Already traded the 2 of it. Raiders are gonna find a desperation play in onto the back line, and there's such a big Moonfall that it might just work. Blackpink chasing back the other way. Ultravox taking down to a sliver of HP. Has committed 4 onto him right now, but their next shorts are in shambles. I don't even think TD has to fight this, but they're gonna try and get Jappy out of there. They've already found the first kill onto the Shen. Leaves is gonna find the ability to reset so far, keep himself up and alive. Triple kill for Ultravox. 2 more for Leaves, and that is 2 Nexus turrets plus a win. The first week of Mythic has come and gone, but we're rounding things out with a banger, soon-to-be banger of a game, between Super Late Reveal and Team EEK, with Joey returning in the top lane. My name is RLS Escape, or just Escape, you can call me Spencer for short, and I am joined by the War Leader.
Yeah, we're back again. Last time we were looking at 2 teams that were trying to get themselves on the board after a lackluster day 1. Meanwhile, these 2 teams were our surprises coming out of week 1, with them dominating victories when I don't think very many people thought much of either of them.
Yeah, it's a little bit painful, but hold on.
Wait,
We're just walking straight into Yuumi Neela? What? Okay, I'm very excited to see this. Obviously, Kongzi had a very, very good previous game on that Twitch, was able to play really, really dominant. Super Late Reveals worried about that and got rid of that Twitch immediately. They didn't want to deal with that chaos. Immediately, though, the Yumi's still here, and it's going to be Neela as the carry option. I like this.
Yep, Saverjana is going to be the response. Hopefully, it's able to shut down Neela from getting too deep onto the team, but that is going to be a scaling menace from the side of Team EEK.
Yeah. And, last game was a good showing for them. They've got Accusations back in the mid lane. There is going to be no Irina Thunder playing support. It's going to be Oriri making a reappearance into that bot lane, playing on that Yuumi once again. Definitely Yumi'd in the previous game. Capable of Yumiing once again. Not too worried there. Going to be the lock-ins for Tef and Fang over Fang on that Trundle and Janna, respectively.
Yeah, and that was up to Team EEK for that red side pick. They get the option to counterpick.
I love it. Do it.
Well, that would also be pretty decent. I also just noticed that Team EEK has demos in their jungle instead of XT today, which is also going to be interesting to watch. We've seen demos in heroic play mid lane now arriving here in their main role jungle, and I'm excited to see if that's where the Echo ends up going.
What team does demos play for?
Double A.
Double A. Okay, that's interesting. Replacing XT. Interesting. This is going to be the set in that top lane band away from Orphic and the Azir from Accusations. Just trying to get rid of presumably some way for them to stall this game out and just allow that Neela and that Yuumi to get stronger in this game. I feel like this bot lane has to be a focal point, though. We haven't seen Neela, I don't think, at all yet. Please correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't seen a single Neela so far this season in FOF since she's come out. She is a very interesting champion. She scales in a very different way than everyone else. Most champions scale because their items make their abilities have higher ratios. Neela scales because her items are better than your items. Because whenever she gets crit chance, she gets an extra 900-ish gold worth of stats. And so she's just stronger now. So her items are better than your items. It's a bit of an Ornn situation. They're not going to be picking up an Ornn to match with this so far. It looks like Accusations is going to be going towards that Swain, who we've seen Guilty play really well on in the previous game. He's kind of a dominant factor. So I wouldn't be surprised as using that as a takeaway from Accusations, and it's going to be left up to Joey, I assume, in that top lane to get that counter pick off against Orphic.
Yep, that would push Echo into the jungle, and it is going to be locked in. That does mean that Demos is going to be the one piloting Echo in that jungle, and a very different look from XT's normal champion pool. So I'm excited to see how EEK looks differently in this game with a completely different roster.
Yeah. It's still forming up to be, it's less of okay, we're gonna submarine stuff with Twitch and we're gonna just instead play to go for team fights. They've got that Echo, they've got that Swain. I think it's going to be Demos in the jungle on the Echo. I don't know that would go top lane for any reason right now. Now, okay, Guilty with the Xerath. I have so many not nice things to say about Xerath, so you can go ahead and go for the rest of this.
Xerath is very long ranged and should be able to get some poke down on Echo and try and onto Swain and try and deny some of those minions, but also very immobile, very easy to get hit by one of those Swainies, and then it's a problem. And Orphic choosing to blind Garen top lane is very interesting. I almost wonder if that's a takeaway. Really afraid of Garen Yuumi coming out, but Yuumi already has plenty of very good targets, so the pick confuses me a little bit as to why that is the choice for blind.
Alright. Is it Fang over Fang doing the drafting for Super Late Reveal, or do they have somebody else doing it? Because this feels like some Fang shenanigans. It looks like it's going to be a Gnar in that top lane. Joby going to be able to just play that one to the ranges, going to be able to use the movement speed from that to just probably aim to get into the late game team fights, try and be strong on that Gnar. And I think it is a very comprehensive comp for the side of EEK. Meanwhile, Super Late Reveal kind of has they've got Sustain for team fight, they've got AoE for team fight, they've got Tank Strip against very few, if any, tanks. They've got Poke solitarily, and they have Garen. I really don't like the SLR comp.
Yeah, it's a little confused. I think the EEK comp is a lot more unified on how they want to play and how they want to fight, and they just kind of mash their faces into the enemy faces and should win, and the SLR draft is going to be doing things. So we're going to have to see how that goes as we get onto the Rift.
Yeah. So immediate play right now from SLR. They're going to be moving up towards that top side. One member of AWE versus another right now, as Fang's going to show himself into Accusations. Demos is on the side there. He's not going to try and pressure right now. Okay, so just aggressive vision there. Now, there hasn't been an answer quite yet on the bot side. They do know that Neela's going to have time to walk in at her own pace and get a counter ward. Orphic's still hanging out. Is this going to work? Is Accusations going to walk up? There's no reason for him to. No, they're not going to run into that.
Yeah, it does let the side of EEK get some nice vision on the bottom side of the map. Kongji and Oriri stepping up quite nicely and getting that vision down. No sweepers from the side of SLR means they're going to reveal all four members down on that ward. What
is the plan here for Kongji and Oriri? Are they going to try and walk up and steal this away from Fang? While Tef and Luru are just playing this bot? I'm very curious. There's no way that they know this is happening. So obviously, there's some awareness that there's a ward on that top side. I think there's just going to be a sweeper coming down from Demos to just deal with that. No, Demos is just going to leave it there. Okay, no, so it is going to go over to Accusations. Okay, so that's really well played. Now Guilty is down at the XP advantage. There's going to be no aggressive play from Kongji to try and get anything done there. So it's just a weird early game that just ends up neutralizing itself.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't think Neela Yuumi has the strongest level 1 in the world, so I'm not surprised to see them back off there. It was really interesting. It's weird, because nothing really happened in that level 1, except maybe the mid-XP difference, which we're seeing right now in the mid lane. But not a whole lot happened for the amount that happened.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of, like, a preemptive setting up stuff, and then that was it. So I think that that is probably signs for things to go. Obviously, the last time we saw SLR play, they were ridiculously aggressive for the entire game. So taking trades in that really early phases, and then it was just late game macro that really took them over the top to take that first win. So we'll see whether or not that is something that is going to stick around. Obviously, different lineup of players this time. So I don't know. I don't know where that shot calling is really coming from them so far. I don't think we've heard enough from them to know where their mindset is going into these games. And I know that they really haven't had too much time to play with one another. So we'll have to see what EEK is going to be able to do. Right now, this bot lane is going to take the priority. But you know what? Kongshi's very happy to just get access to those minions to be able to grab that XP regardless. It's really the best you can do as Lure and Tef there, but pushed in.
Yeah, and I think that's how bot lane's going to go for most of the game. As we see Joey maybe on the wrong side of the Garen, but it doesn't matter. And we are going to see a pause come through. There's not a whole lot to talk about in the current game state. I think lanes have been going about as expected. Maybe Accusations doesn't quite have the CS lead that I thought that they would have at this point, but as hard as we can't really see too much of the wave state.
So I guess we have a little bit of time to talk about stuff. So right now, I think this is one of very few times that we have the opportunity to talk. No, I was going to take the chance to talk with Twitch chat. Oh, I don't know who unpaused it, but I'm very upset that we don't have any user interaction on this channel, and it will continue to be that way. We're going to work ourselves back into this lane.
You can gamble. You can just gamble. That's all the interaction you need.
Yeah, no, that's true. Where are we feeling about gambling right now? Let me have a look at that. Where are the predictions sitting at the moment right now? It's favoring EEK 2-1 roughly. So that's interesting. So we have the fan vote now. We know that EEK is the favorite to win according to the people playing. Do you think that's something to do with just the players that are there and people voting for their friends, or do you think that EEK is actually at an advantage right now?
I think it's draft. I think it's entirely draft. I think the lack of dive that the side of SLR have is kind of confusing. As Orphic, yeah, stepping deep into a minion wave. Let's go, Joey. Able to just get that HP back off of Fleet Footwork. Demo's looking for Taf, not quite going to find it. Oh my goodness. I'm a little surprised I didn't see a parallel convergence come out there at all, and that if it was set up right, could have been devastating. Or if we're continuing to fight in this minion wave.
I don't think you want that. Hold on, engage right now from Kongji and Oriri, just onto Tef initially, going to find a little bit of damage, but that's really good. You know, obviously they can find this XP advantage. If you can earn yourself any amount of gold as Neela, you want to take it. They have the room to take those engages, so they might as well go for it right now. Guilty takes a small trade in the mid lane. This bot lane is very much favoring the Neela right now, both in the terms of she's going to scale very, very aggressively right now, trying to find a trade onto Luru. That wave is going to get crashed, and I think that's going to be a comfortable reset for that Neela on a very good 31 CS for this point in the game.
Yeah, it shocks me that Neela's ahead in CS. It shouldn't happen. Oh, the ward is going to tell him that they're there, but Kongji's going in.
Yeah, wasn't ready for that kind of engage. The exhaust is going to get burned out of a Riri, but there's no chase to follow up. There's still the flash available for Kongji. I don't know if they're going to want to try and continue that one right now. A lot of potential for something dangerous to come out there. The ghost is going to get burned from Luru, but it's just going to get isolated into a small incident.
Yeah, and Kongji has a terrifying presence regardless of the matchup. The way that they position their character and are able to just be aggressive regardless of the matchup really shows why they're one of the top ranked players in this tournament, and has looked absolutely dominant. I mean, as we're really early into this one, just 5 minutes, but I'm very surprised to see Neela Yuumi up in CS versus Sivirjana.
Yeah, and it's interesting how many ADCs were banned away, but the Yuumi wasn't taken away. That was a very big priority pick for them last time, just grabbing that Yuumi up, and it was able to allow Kongji to do so much of the plays that he was able to do, just find those catches, and here it is again, just enabling this bot laner to do whatever he wants, and right now they don't feel comfortable denying Neela the wave, so she's going to get that XP advantage just naturally, and oh boy, 6 is going to come early, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, for sure. The XP just being shared and being increased is already rearing its ugly head in this bottom lane, as the Neela already has a level lead. Looking across the rest of the map, though, we do see that Garen has managed to pick up a small CS lead in top side. And in the mid lane, as we expected, Accusations on that Swain able to have a nice lead there as well. Guilty with Ghost instead of Teleport means is probably going to lose a fair few minions on this push.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say other than, yeah, that's the deal with playing that mid lane champion now. Right now, a good trade now. It's going to favor Joey completely. Has that fleet footwork. He's going to be allowed to continue chasing. Should have that Q available. Barely missing the W. Can't get that big thwomp to connect right there. That top lane has been... It's really weird for Orphic to just pick Garen blind and then not feel comfortable into taking it to what I know Joey for playing in the top lane. Gnar is something that he feels comfortable on. He's able to pull it out. It's a very strong champion in the meta right now. The only thing that is notable, Orphic is up in that CS right now. It looks like there might be a gank top at the moment. Level 7 to level 4 right now for Deimos. Doesn't have a good way in. And I think that's just going to be it sealed up. But look at this, Joey able to set up a freeze.
Yeah, and that is going to be sort of a nice pressure reliever, right? It's going to make Orphic have a really hard time with this current wave, and...
What is Orphic's doing? Okay. Is he? Does he want to make a play mid right now? They do have full vision control. He's not going to see the Echo on the way in. Accusations has no idea what's coming. Who expects a Garen now? The stun connects and Orphix on top of it. The silence is there. And there goes all the trash talk that Garen paying off in spades.
Yeah, and also Drendl's just like free hitting Dragon. There's no vision control at all from the bot lane. Yumi's not able to sort of establish that river vision. So early game is actually looking rather SLR favored right now. That being said, it's hard to ignore the slowly growing CS gap that we see in that bot lane, and we know Kongji can absolutely dominate games, and this is one where probably going to have to do that to win the game.
I think, okay, so Garen might be a good way to shut down that Neela. Obviously, just having the silence on board, that's one of the best ways to shut her down, is don't let her get her Q off, don't let her get her W off, don't let her deny damage. Gonna be a fight over this move. I think this could turn into something really big right now. Deimos a level down in a bit of trouble right now. Kongji looking for that engage. Is able to find the ulti onto one. There with Oriri, and right now, caught out of position is Fang, but he's so tanky. Hard to take down. First kill is going to go down for Guilty onto Kongji. They can't find Fang. 2 kills for Guilty, and all of these picks that I'm talking down on are gonna start paying off. Tef is the one payback to trade. Oriri trying to find his way out of there. I don't see that one working out. I think Guilty's gonna be able to get on top of that cat very, very quickly, very, very soon. Luru walking the long way around, looking for this pickup on the cat. This wave is pushing in towards them bot lane as well. Nothing being missed in the mid lane. That is another kill picked up, and the kills favor 5-1 in favor of SLR.
Yeah, and this fight is just not very well positioned from the side of EEK. The Accusations is late to the fight, and they blow so many cooldowns just on this like initial grab on Fang over Fang. Kongji just taken out by all the damage of the 4 members of SLR that are already there. So it's the coordination that really goes a long way. And I don't know how I feel about demos going back in there. You're kind of leaving your cat out to die. Yeah. And you just need to communicate, hey, Riri, I'm going to go die. You go do your thing. But it doesn't happen, and it's going to be 4 kills picked up for SLR, and the gold lead balloons.
Yeah, and this wave is pushing in towards Lure. He doesn't even have to touch it. He'd be so happy to just take this towards him. He is going to just take that recall. It's a great option there. I feel like Tef there to catch the wave. Only way to make that a little bit better right now. But SLR's looking big right now. They've got kills across all of their members except for that Janna. Good support players don't take kills. I got to remind myself that sometimes. But yeah, no, Tef able to set himself up very comfortably. He's going to start getting that Janna onto the map right now. And it's about what SLR wants to do with this priority now. They've got a gold lead in their favor right now. 10 minutes, and it's looking very good for them. And what do they want to do with it? Looks like they want to make a play onto Orphic in this top side.
Yeah, they're going to try to, but it's going to be tough with the vision that now Demos knows about. Not going to be able to find too much. A little bit of trading in the mid lane, but Guilty has more than caught up on the lead, and even though there's a pretty big CS lead bot, it doesn't really matter with the way the kills have gone, or the way the other lanes have gone. Pretty big gold lead, about 3,000 here at just 9 minutes for SLR.
Yeah, and you know what? I was worried about that Neela. Obviously, we've seen Kongji do it before. He's terrifying. He's already proven that. He's looked like a terrifying player at the beginning of the season, able to open himself up in game number 1. But what SLR has done is that they've built a composition to shut him down. And let's remember how that game played out. It was just him 1v9ing in that game, and he was able to take it by himself. And you know what? SLR has said, all right, we're going to build a composition to just shut down Neela. And I think it's going to make it very hard for her to do things in fights. So obviously, there's still room for that outplay. But we'll have to see how things go right now. She has to roll into those first and second items before she really starts to get online. Meanwhile, Rift Herald's going to be the focus for SLR.
Yep, and Fang is just kind of hitting it alone, really, at the moment. Demos is so far behind in jungle CS and has not been finding really any plays on the map. And so Fang over Fang's just been able to walk around and do whatever they desire. Brendan having a pretty dominant jungle showing thus far.
Yeah, now this is the play for Kongji, trying to find some aggression down in this bot lane, and obviously just denying any sort of trade back. That's the downside of being a melee normally, is hold on, the ultimates are landing right now. Guilty, comfortably landing all 3 of those ultis. Well played for Guilty, and earning the second part of that Guilty clean name.
Yeah, okay, Demo's looking at the bot side, we're not going to find much Fang over Fang in the area. The Echo has not accomplished very much. Mid has fallen down 3 times. Top is going slightly SLR favor, but Joey's in trouble! Oh, the Gnar able to keep him out from that Demacian Justice, which was seconds away from coming down.
I'm gonna nitpick because we're buddies, Joey. You just Gnar first, and then stun, and then jump. Not stun, then jump, then gnar. But you know what? Things happen. Getting a little bit of pressure from that top lane. Everything is still very much favoring SLR at the moment, just like you said. But top lane has been kind of a sign of strength for them so far. But, you know, the CS diff is really where it's starting to build up right now. Orphic getting very strong in that top lane. Had those early Berserker creeps is going to give him that wave clear that he wants. And I think it really is going to have to fall in the back of Kongji once again to just try and find the team fights that they want, find the angles that they want, and just make things happen on his own.
Yeah, and this game, Kongji hasn't been spoon-fed 4 kills in the early game, so it's going to be a little harder to accrue that lead. We're going to have to see how they pilot this champion. And Nila's not a champion that we've seen before, really, in FOF, and even though the laning phase has been pretty, I guess, somewhat stock standard, it's going to come down to how Nila operates in these team fights. That's going to be so different from other.
Yeah, they have found a good angle there. They don't know that they're on vision, though. Having to just back off. We've got 3 seconds to let Dragon spawn. Guilty's already on the rotation. They've got that bot Mario in their pocket right now. They're going to use Fang to push that bot lane in. And now we have more trading in the top lane right now. Joey pushing Orphic into the wall with the Gnar there. It's just going to have to disengage. And, ooh, now Guilty. A lot of trouble at the moment. Accusation's going to be taken low. This is going to be a 1v1. There is the 2-level advantage right now for Guilty. But the ultimate is there for Deimos. I don't know how he's going to be able to find that kill. The Ghost is getting him away. Running up towards his top lane right now. Deimos has to ult before the silence come through. Orphic going to clean up that kill. And that is going to be...
Oh, no!
Wait, can he?
Oh, my goodness!
Is it blind, Guilty?
Call him Kobe because he just don't miss. Guilty, insane with the artillery this game so far.
I did not think that was possible there. Guilty having another pop-off game for SLR, and he's really showing up well. Just everywhere for EEK is falling apart. Joey's sitting there with that clean 0-0 scoreline, but everywhere else has been chaos. And Dragon was picked up amongst that. They grabbed 2 more kills. And the only place that hasn't gone completely out of hand in the spot lane is a heal and an ulti gets burnt by a Riri there on a misjudged engage.
Yeah, really awkward for the side of
oh boy
of EEK this entire game so far. Trundle looking in the bottom side, not going to be able to find too much. Orphic's been such a bully in this top side. I'm really surprised. My experience has been that Gnar wins this matchup, and we are going to get another pause, so we can take a moment to evaluate the game state. It's about a 5, almost 6,000 gold lead for the side of SLR just 14 minutes in. Guilty. Absolutely huge on Xerath so far.
So, I want to take note, because I did get the opportunity to do this last time. 16 people voted. Alright? I want, from the people in chat, how many people regret the team they voted for? Let's get in here. How many people wish they could change their mind right now? I want to know who's losing points or who's still confident in their bet, as we are going to be rolling back into game right now. We're kind of at a bit of a lull state right now. There's no room for either of these teams to go onto the map and get anything done that's too crazy. So we'll see where this really neutralizes to. I have to imagine that this Echo is going to have to be the starter for a lot of these plays that need to be happening.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, but so far behind right now. Full level. And it looks like we're looking back at the top clear once again. But yeah, we're talking about the Echo, and Echo's so far behind in terms of CS. If you just look at the items, the Trundle has a Divine Sunderer through already. Echo's still sitting on a garage sale, and it makes it really hard for the side of EEK to accomplish anything because that's their go button.
Yeah. We'll have to see whether or not that kind of garage sale, as you put it, I think that's really well worded, you know, like there's nothing immediately pressing there from the Echo. He needs to have that proto belt through before he can start to make those engages. Joey hasn't been able to pick up almost anything in that top lane. The poor Gnar just happily skipping along, knowing that there's a man with a big sword waiting for him. But I think we got to look at the positives right now for EEK. Kongji's huge. Even though it's 0-0-1-0, doesn't look too clean at the moment. There's obviously been plates given over the other way. That is a lot of CS, and the thing to note is that is XP for Nila. Every single CS that she's gaining, she is sharing with that Yuumi, and it's getting both of those two very far ahead in terms of that XP value, and that is the only thing in the game you can't normally expedite. So she's going to get very strong off of that. She's got her first item through. It's going to let her fighting be a little bit stronger, and you know, as that Echo starts to make their way towards the bot side, maybe this is going to be an opportunity for EEK to finally get some gold back in their favor.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be quite the angle for demos,
Whee!
and we're gonna get a view of the top inner tower before we go back into bot lane and continue to watch the farming commence. This bot lane has been pretty quiet overall. Kongji not able to really force much to happen. Demos also not really being able to find an in. Savarjana is very defensive.
Joey's been left alone for a long time in this top lane, and I think that they're getting a little bit bored of seeing that 0 on the death marker right now as Fang wants to try and take this 1v1. He definitely can. The subjugate makes him so scary. Look at those laser accurate ults from Guilty. Taking down Joey in that top lane. There's nowhere safe from the Xerath. And you know what? If you can play it this well, I have nothing bad to say about the pick.
Yeah, absolutely dunking from across the rift. Guilty looking so good, and this top tower, top inner, surely going to fall. I don't think Demos is going to be able to do too much to deter the big beefy boys from taking down that inner tower, and that's a lot more gold over the side of SLR, who have ballooned the gold lead to 8,000.
Yeah, I was going to say, we were talking about a 5k gold lead less than 90 seconds ago, and it's bigger than that now, as Kongji's looking to try and reduce the deficit a little bit right now, but we've seen struggles with that in the past. We're going to see struggles with it right now, as it's going to stay in the favor of SLR, and this very late reveal has turned into quite the showing from them so far, as this is a 3v1 dive. I'd like to see Accusations get to that one alive. No flash available. That is going to be mid-turret going down, and Accusation is going to fall with it as this gold lead gets even bigger, and as we're looking towards a third Dragon for Soul Point, I really don't know how EEK dig their way out of this hole.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible at this point. Even though I felt like they had the favored draft, they've gotten so far behind that they've eclipsed that point. The picks that were questionable from the side of SLR have enough gold to where it definitely doesn't matter, even if they were questionable. And now we look like fools for thinking that they were questionable, when really Brendan is the smartest person in FOF.
I think that is the takeaway. I think is that Brendan. Okay. Think about it this way, all right? Have we ever seen a team that Brendan is involved with struggle? No.
No.
Right? If anybody can come up with an example, I can't think of a single one. As right now they're going to try and put some struggle onto Brendan's page, but nope, Yumi ulti unable to find Luru. Luru's happy to get out of there with just popping the ghost, and Disengage comes through. This bot lane's done such a good job of just neutralizing into this Neela Yumi. She's trying to find an engage now, but there's nothing to be found. Luru's just going to back off once again.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and the gaps in the mid lane and the jungle are only growing over time. And Kongji has been at about a stable 30 CS lead, but it's not going to win in the game. But what might is Orphic down on this bot side, ready to cause chaos, take that last outer turret.
Yep, and that is going to be another tower ticking down, continuing that perfect record of Fang. I don't know, some people don't believe me that he's perfect, but I don't know what to say. There's some contention about that one. I don't know why. I feel like I think we'll have Brendan on probably for an interview if he hasn't had it already. We'll just give him the opportunity to just spout his flawless career thus far. As hold on, flaw potentially for Guilty getting caught out, but there's so much damage from that Xerath with the Ludens and Horizon's focus being complete, and that might be the end of the health bar right there. Deimos is going to burn down, and that's Accusations now under pressure. The point blank Xerath Q. Giving it over to Luru, but it is such a small amount of gold at this point. Joey trying to get a consolation prize up in that top lane right now as everyone on SLR is just wreaking havoc in the spot jungle.
I'm not sure I've seen a Demon player this game, and it's very hard. Fang over Fang. Just flaunting it right now. Trying to get Kongji out of position. It's maybe going to happen as the Arcane Barrage comes in, and Kongji will fall under tower. Brendan knows how to shake it, baby. Orphic looking for a Riri. No. Oh, the cat is going to get away. No goodie bag there. Oh my god. Oh, this is so silly. This is so silly.
What do you do? This just feels like a shooting gallery for Guilty right now, and he's not feeling any guilt at all. He's just happily beaming down the side of EEK right now, who's living up to their namesake, just screaming and running away from these horrifying lasers that are coming out of Guilty. Once again, Accusations getting chunked out. This is probably the best game of pinball I've ever seen in League.
Oh my goodness. I mean, back and forth, back and forth. SLR get to think whatever they want until they decide they'd like to have the Nexus. And it's going to be... I don't know. It's slow and steady in terms of the game clock, but it hasn't been slow and steady in terms of the gameplay. It's in fact been a race, and SLR are quite far ahead, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm curious if Kongji's gonna have an angle to make anything happen, or if it's just so far gone.
I think, okay, if I'm EEK right now, I am dealing with negative thoughts of my play. I'm very upset, but I'm thinking, how do I ruin their perfect games? There are so many zeros on that scoreboard, and I think Orphic is a great place to start. So they try to find a way in onto this Garen. The parallel conversion goes the wrong way, but they're getting him down to half HP. Accusations is there to try and get in on it right now, and Orphic loses that perfect game, ticks on over to the Neela, and you know, that's 850 gold in her pocket. She can start to turn that into something big.
Yeah, maybe able now to catch up in items to that Sivir, get that second item in. I think Neela really wants the third or the fourth item before it is an absolute menace, but that is a massive acceleration, and that is certainly what it is.
Pew. Does he get it?
What's the last one? Where is it? It's gonna land!
Again! Kongji trying to turn this one right now into Tep, who doesn't quite, yes, does have the Monsoon, able to push it away to deny the Neela ulti. Well played from Tef to shut down the only way that Kongji has back into this game. And right now, Cursplosion just happening right there for Guilty, who's just rolling the keyboard all over the side of EEK. Kongji trying to dodge his way out of there. Oriri gets taken to half off of a W, and he's got no hope left in this world. EEK just taken down by the side of Guilty, and we're going to get another look at the chaos that unfolded.
Alright, so what I'm looking at in terms of, like, positives for EEK from this fight is that Let's Go Joey is getting a massive side wave right now. Like, there's, like, 2 minions. Oh, he doesn't even actually show up. He's just kind of hanging out. Anyway, the shooting gallery comes in, and this is such a good monsoon from Tef to deny that last tick of the Neela ultimate, and once that's gone, Kongji has lost all of their playmaking ability and just has to try and retreat, but there will be no retreat. As just the peppering of skill shots that do so much damage is just too much.
Oh my lord, Oriri disappeared, and how many stacks is that on the bench? I was 10 to 20. Just jumped up there from Guilty. Can we please get a death cap? Please? For the serotonin levels? The Zoe player in me is coming out. I just want to see the big explosions. So it's going to be the move to Baron right now for SLR. Virtually uncontested. Obviously, Deimos can make an attempt. We have balanced out smites as of a year and a half ago or something like that. How long ago did that patch happen? But it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of contention. Guilty is just running the perimeter right now. Absolutely no fears of Squishy Xerath. He knows he has the damage to deal with anything. And I don't even think Deimos is going to be safe on the other side of the map. Getting his grump is right now. Orphic is trying to create pressure right there. The Ignite has already been burnt out. Joey in the mid lane, able to dodge out some plays, gets knocked up by Tef. Can he find the spell there? Doesn't quite get it. Joby unable to find the play. He's going to get chucked out by the Xerath. Accusations. And now, Accusation's going to try and get on top of that Xerath. It'd be so big to pick up that kill, get rid of those Magi stacks, but he's going to be taken off the map, and it's going to be stacks taken away, no stacks added. It's 25 now for Guilty.
All the members of SLR are just trying to flaunt it at this point, get EEK to commit to more plays, and Kongji is committing on the Orphic right now, but the Arcane Barrage comes in! Oh, but the missed ult! The Divine Judgment goes out on the Yuumi, and it doesn't matter! The crit coming through off that Mortal Reminder will shut down Kongji's dreams of that fight going well.
Ah, please. Please, whoever does the highlights for this one, just the whole game and save it. This is one of the best FOF games I've ever seen. The individual play has actually been immaculate. It's really easy to look at this game like a massive stomp, but they've really earned it on the side of SLR, and they're going to be pushing forward towards this bot inhibitor. Joby, the only chance to be able to hold this one off right now, and I don't think he's going to get it right now. Deimos in the sides, and between the lack of gold and the lack of coordination and the lack of map pressure, EEK has been unable to turn this one into a positive for themselves right now. Soul is going to go over to SLR, and it's only a couple Xerath Qs away from an end.
Yeah, and I think it's just about finishing off the Infinity Gauntlet here. Going to grab this last Cloud Drake is going to make it nearly impossible for EEK to maneuver compared to just so much move speed out of that Sivir ultimate. You're not going to be able to get on top of the important people. The Trundle ult's happy too. The Garen presses that Demacian Justice and starts sprinting even harder at your backline. It's obviously rough, and it's hard to see it not getting rougher.
You know, I'm just having a curious moment right now. I'm wondering if Guilty is from around the SoCal area or just in California in general, because I think I know where all those power's going. It's being used up by some Xerath lightning bolts that are chunking with a megawatt of damage each. That's the only thing I'm looking for in these team fights now, is just whether or not those are accurate and how much damage they do. It's absurd how much that first strike Xerath has been able to do. Oh, pew! Orphic going in 1v3. He's got no care in the world. Guilty's already lined up with those arcane barrages. Gonna take that first chunk down. He's got 2 more loaded up. Deimos, no way out of there. Joey gonna be able to dodge out of that, but not dodge away from the trundle. Dives to her and doesn't go down, and an opportunity for the Neela gets washed away by the water she runs with, and it's gonna be even more damage out of this Xerath. Guilty continuing to chunk down, continuing to insert himself as a fantastic mid lane force, and this is gonna be SLR walking towards the Nexus, an attempt from Kanji, but he doesn't have the damage. Oriri hops off to try and find something, but that is going to be game over. A massive deficit for SLR, and they're going to go 2-0.
Yeah, that was some dominance, I think it's fair to say. I don't think I can recall an FOF game that one-sided, as SLR putting us to shame. We thought they had the bad draft. They show that draft doesn't matter. It's all Brendan's big brain at the end of the day, and they looked very, very good in this one.
It is. It really is. Brendan thought about that game a lot, and that was why they won. It was Brendan thinking, and if anyone disagrees with me, I think you're wrong. I think everyone should vote him for MVP, and we should hear what he had to think about that match, because I'm sure there will be more thoughts than simply Trundle Pillar. Honestly, though, Guilty, stunning game. Great job from Tef and Luru to be able to shut down that just treacherous bot lane that has been in place. Already like shown it's a really, really strong duo, that Riri plus Kongji, and they didn't fall victim to it at all. They were just able to walk away from it and just say, okay, we're gonna get ourselves out of lane. Luru 7-0 at the end of that game. So easy to ignore with all the big Tesla coil lasers going off all over the place, but it was massive. So everyone from SLR just had a pop-off game, and I'm interested to see if they're gonna be able to ride this wave and continue the momentum.
That being said, that is it for our games for the day. And but before you go anywhere, we've got a very important interview with a very important person.
Oh, it's Orphic. Oh.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with our final interview tonight, joined by Orphic of the victorious Super Late Reveal SLR. How are you feeling after the win?
Feeling pretty good, Chris. You know, it's nice to be able to run around on Garen and just spin to win.
Hey, who doesn't love easy game, easy life, easy elo when it comes to you? Let's talk a little bit about getting ready for the game today and the series or the season rather overall. What was your thoughts coming into the season as you folks do round out our first week as 2-0?
Let's see. Coming into the season, I didn't really look too much at the other teams, to be honest. I wasn't really all that worried. Seems like the way things are going, it's us and Yubi, and you know, seems like we have a good spot to take first as well. And you know, starting off 2-0 is really, really good. But I think it's been an easy first week, but we'll see how we keep up.
Well, this game was certainly a decisive win by you folks. SLR, in this draft, what were you folks looking at? What was your plan coming into this game? And what you folks ended up pulling out in this draft?
Well, I mean, initially, like, my personal thoughts were like, you know, we take away a couple strong ADCs for Kongzi, because obviously he's a good player, right? You know, Master Tier, he popped off yesterday, but I just figured, you know, we take away 2 of the stronger ADCs in the meta. I know people think that Zeri is, like, kind of weak because of the nerfs and everything, but I think she still has a good spot, especially if you have hands. But the draft kind of flowed however it went. You know, we had some nice counter picks. I thought it was a pretty good Garen angle simply because, like, Neela doesn't like AoE or like just AoE AD damage, and I can just simply shred her down really easily with Mortal Reminder. So I figured it was a really good answer to that.
In this game, I felt like you folks played your outs pretty well throughout the game. And SLR ends up with a win in this game. What was your read on the game? Was there any points where you felt like it was your possibility where you might give up the game?
No, not at all. There was no point at all. Yeah. We were in the driver's seat the whole time, and we had full map control.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the result speaks for themselves, folks. SLR closing out our first week themselves 2-0. EEK going to end up at the 1-1 in the end. But more to see in this season. I think that the most interesting thing out of this first week is that there is a lot of challengers, a lot of new teams. A lot of new things to see as the weeks go on with Mythic. So, folks, stay tuned. Orphic, before we step away, though, before we close out for the day, I want to give you an opportunity. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know, Kongzi said yesterday that he was the strongest, the fastest, and the smartest. Well, I am the weakest, the dumbest, and the slowest, and still won. And, you know, we're cracking open a cold one for the boys at the SLR server.
Hell yeah. All right, well, folks, that's going to be it for the first week of Mythic. Very spicy games indeed. A lot of interesting stuff to see as the weeks go on. We'll be back later this week on Thursday with our heroic games. Please join us for that. Until then, folks, we'll see you next week for Mythic, and have a good one. Be well.